Hello, Ravens. My name is Mrs. Vinekamp. I am the principal at Irvington Community Middle School. Tonight, I wanted to share with you just a little bit about the start of our historic 2021 school year. We have quite a few new safety protocols that we have put in place to keep us all safe so that we are able to work and learn together. So let's get started. Here's an orientation of some of the things we will go over. Safety. It is our Irvington Way tenet of the year. What's new? What good news can we share? We'll talk a little bit about our weekly schedule, our daily schedule, and some words about our academic performance this year. I will share with you our new Irvington Way agreements for 2021. And then I'll end the presentation with some information about the packets that you will receive when you come in for a quick orientation visit with Mr. Walk in the main office. So the Irvington Way tenet of the year is safe. We can all agree that unless students feel safe and teachers feel safe, it is very hard to work and learn together. That being said, we have learned a lot in the last few months from the public health experts and the scientists and all those people that are doing the hard work of learning about this pandemic and how we all need to stay safe. So with that being said, here are some of the expectations we have for students and for staff. Face masks are required every day. We will still stand at the door and greet you, masked, and we will ask you, where is your mask? Before you approach the door in the morning, you will need to make sure you have your face mask on. We are not going to allow students to wear bandanas. We need the face mask to be like this graphic. It has to cover the nose, it has to cover under the chin, and it has to connect to the side of your face. Face masks are a part of what we think of when we think of the Irvington Way. Respectful, responsible, and safe. The experts tell us they keep us from transmitting diseases to other people, and we are going to do that to protect one another. We have purchased special lanyards that we will issue to each student that connect to the earpieces of the lanyard that will keep it around your neck. There will be times throughout the day, and it's at a teacher's discretion, when students are seated, socially distanced, facing the same direction, they may be allowed to pull their mask down to take a breath, to take some fresh air. Instead of a brain break, we're calling it some breath breaks. So it will be on the teachers to manage that, and it will not be when students are up moving around the room. Remember, with our hybrid model, we'll have 50% of the population that we would normally have in a classroom. So there will be plenty of space to spread out and to stay within our own bubbles. Families, we are going to ask that you please make sure if students wear cloth masks that they are laundered regularly and that disposable masks are traded out often. So we have calculated to the inch the number of students and staff members we can get in the gym and maintain a 6-foot social distance. And that magical number is 80. So at the door in the morning, when we open the doors at 7:30, we will begin clicking as students come into the gym. And once we reach that number of 80, that is when gym doors will close and we will begin to dismiss the gym in a trickle. That could be as early as 7:45 when teachers arrive. It could be, we don't get 8 to 80 until 8 a.m., but 80 is the number we will use as our capacity of the gym. Remember, 7:30 the doors open. That means students may not arrive on campus before then. Families will generally line up and wait, and we are usually out by the front door by 7:25, but 7:30 is our official opening of the door. Remember, all ICMS students qualify for free breakfast if they choose to eat it. Breakfast is served every day until 8 a.m. While students are socially distanced in the gym, they will be allowed, of course, to take their mask off to eat, but then once they have finished eating, they will remask, and then the gym will be dismissed again at a trickle when capacity is reached, and students will then report directly to their advisory classroom. We are this year suspending perfect attendance awards. Now, I don't want you to think that I don't believe perfect attendance isn't a noble effort. It is amazing, and perfect attendance is an achievement. But in a year of a pandemic, if there's ever a doubt, if students are waking up with a sore throat or they might feel a little feverish, this is not the year to just push through and in hopes of achieving a perfect attendance award. So we thank you in advance, families and Ravens, for understanding our need to suspend perfect attendance awards this year. So we will schedule hand washing and restroom time in the morning, at lunchtime, and in the afternoon, but we will do so in a way that does not allow the bathrooms to be a congregating area for students like they often have been in the past. That will mean bathrooms are closed during passing periods, and teachers will be given liberal privileges to use the restroom one at a time and no more than two at a time when we have a whole class use the restroom. Remember, a whole class might be 10 to 12 students. We will have hand sanitizer widely available throughout the building and in every classroom, just as we will have sanitizing materials like Clorox wipes available in every classroom to sanitize desktops, the bars of the desks, the doorknobs of the classroom, and then the locker latches. This year, all students will be issued an ICS Chromebook, charger, and carry case that has a shoulder strap. We are asking all students to have a continuity of device. This was the request of Mr. Ashmore, our IT director, who helps manage the Chromebooks of 1,000 students. And so this is his request that everyone be issued the same device. We have already had some families ask, can my child use our device at home so we don't have to bring the Chromebook back and forth? And we unfortunately have to say no to that. Mr. Ashmore is asking that the Chromebooks are, once they're assigned to a student, it's in the student's possession. There is no place for us to leave them at school. It is critical that students return to school each day on their face-to-face classes with a fully charged Chromebook. It's my recommendation. Plug it in before you go to bed at night. Put it near the backpack in your shoes so that you're ready to start your day. It's not sitting somewhere that you don't notice it, but make sure you bring that fully charged Chromebook. We are not sharing, and we do not have spares. So we need you to bring that Chromebook so you're able to participate. Remember, 40% of your time first semester will be spent with your teachers, and they need every minute of that time to make sure they can help you and assist to show you what your e-learning experiences will be as well. This is new, Ravens, so listen up. All students should bring a plastic transparent water bottle filled with only water. Not Kool-Aid, not Gatorade, not soda. Our water fountains will not be available during the day. We are also not going to allow students to use the communal microwaves that we generally use during lunchtime. So students, if you pack your lunch, it needs to be a lunch that does not need to be microwaved. Lunch will be served daily in advisory classes this semester. Now, advisory classes run about 10 to 11 students plus a teacher on any given day. In the morning, teachers will take students' lunch boxes and they will keep them in a safe spot so they don't have to revisit their locker midday, and their lunchbox will be available for them then. Speaking of lockers, there will be 2 locker visits per day. We need to coordinate passing periods so we move from point A to point B without congregating too much in the hallways. So to help students with this, all students will be issued a transparent tote bag. They will carry their binder, their supplies, notebook, reading book, pencil pouch, and they can tuck in their water bottle, carrying that to class each day. Students will also have on their shoulder the shoulder strap of their Chromebook case. So they'll have their Chromebook case and their transparent tote bag to carry to class, eliminating the bottleneck that happens during passing period when students are at their lockers. Students should still bring a backpack with their own supplies to and from home. They will need supplies for e-learning days as well. They will leave the transparent tote bag and the lanyard that they wear around their neck every day in their locker. That's to stay at school. Students may not share supplies this year. This is a really critical point, which is why when students receive their EduKits, which are the supplies we are providing this year, we're going to make sure that some are stored in their locker, some are stored in their backpack, and then they will have their pencil pouches with them that they will take care to make sure they're replenishing each day. We cannot share supplies. During this first semester hybrid model, we will have a single dismissal at all of our ICS campuses. ICMS will dismiss every day at 3:30, and that is all students dismiss at 3:30. Students may walk home. If they have walking privileges, they may catch their rides outside of the school, or if you park on any of the side streets outside of school, Mr. Clark and Mr. O'Hara and Mr. Geller will help with our crosswalks. But we also will still have the YMCA offering our aftercare program that runs from 3:30 until 6 p.m. in our gym, and they often go outside as well. This is a fee-based program, and all families should enroll just in case they ever need to use it. And I will tell you, the YMCA has been very gracious the past couple years, and each semester offers each family 3 freebies. So if you're stuck in traffic behind road construction and you're running behind, you have 3 free chances for your student to stay, have a snack, participate in some activities before you arrive to pick them up from the gym. But once you've reached that 3rd time, they will require you to enroll your student. It's really important that they have your name, your phone number, all your contact information. So please make sure we participate with our partners in the Y and be respectful of their policies. The first few days that we are together in class, we will use some advisory time to teach all of these new safety expectations and protocols. It's important that we talk about the why and explain how they should look and practice them and model them. And so none of this should be new to students after those first couple weeks of class. So how is ICS supporting families this year? Well, here are just a few of those ways. First of all, we have suspended our textbook and technology fees for 2021. We recognize that when the COVID-19 pandemic began, it impacted families economically. People lost jobs, people had to stay home with their children, or people had to start paying childcare. So we thought suspending textbook and technology fees would be just one small way we can help. Now, there is a textbook rental agreement that you still need to sign that will also explain to you your obligations if a student should damage or misuse a Chromebook and it can't be utilized anymore. So just please remember, families, that that document will need to be signed so that you understand your obligation if students mishandle or mistreat our devices. We have a new simplified economical dress code. So in the past, we have had School Bells provide a Raven logoed red polo shirt. And we know that those are still out there. We have older brothers and sisters that have gone through the middle school. And as long as they still fit and can be tucked, you can wear those. Otherwise, a plain red, no writing, no logos, maybe a little embroidered piece would be okay, but nothing that has writing on it can be worn as part of the dress code. The simplest thing to do is go Walmart, Old Navy, Target. The $5 red polos work just fine. The bottoms must be khaki or navy blue. School style uniform pants. Belt loops means they are belted. You must have a belt on if you have belt loops, and we will always require students to be tucked. That's part of our safety protocol. Students who are tucked and belted are less likely to hide things on their person that they shouldn't have in school, keeping themselves and others safe. We will provide the EduKits on the first day in class. That will be your school supplies. We participate still in the federal free and reduced lunch program, and we plan to send meals home with students who wish to take them, students who qualify for free and reduced lunch, or students who would like to pay to take a meal home will be able to do that at the end of the day. We have hired an ICS social worker for family supports for you to reach out. We will make sure to introduce you to her soon. And all students will be issued a Chromebook, cord, and case to take home for e-learning and to bring back to school for face-to-face learning time. It's important to know if we have weather this winter, there's a real possibility we could call an e-learning day on a day when students might be asked to report normally. So having that Chromebook at home will be very helpful, we believe. So here is what a weekly schedule will look like with our hybrid model. For Cohort 1 students, your first day of on-campus learning is Monday, July 27th. For Cohort 2 students, your first day of on-campus learning is Tuesday, July 28th. And remember, doors open at 7:30. We dismiss to our advisory classes and the day begins at 8:15. Students who enter the building after 8:15 are tardy to school and are marked as such in Power School. In fact, if you are not seated in advisory ready to start your day by 8:15, you are counted tardy to school. So please make sure, families, that students are getting dropped off at least around 8 o'clock to ensure that they can get to their advisory classrooms in time. So let's take a look at what a week looks like at ICMS. On Monday, Cohort 1 is present and accounted for on-campus learning. The next day, Tuesday, Cohort 1 will do e-learning that is tied to the lessons they learned on Monday from their teachers. On Wednesday, all students, all staff are home conducting e-learning lessons together. On Thursday, Cohort 1 returns for their second day on campus of the week. And then on Friday, Cohort 1 has their third day of e-learning, and then they start all back again on Monday. So for Cohort 2, their technical first day is Tuesday. So Cohort 2 comes to school on Tuesday for their on-campus learning, and then they join Cohort 1 apart at home for e-learning with their teachers on Wednesday. Cohort 2 has e-learning again on Thursday, and then they see their teachers back face-to-face on Friday for on-campus learning. Cohort 2 technically finishes out their week on a Monday with the e-learning lesson from their class on Friday. It sounds really confusing, but there is a rhythm to our week, and we will all get used to this together. This is our bell schedule for when we are in session, in class, face-to-face. So we start our day again, 7:30 in the morning, the doors open. Breakfast is served. We go to the gym until gym reaches capacity, or 8 o'clock when we dismiss to advisory. We will trickle to advisory, have our locker period in the morning, put our things in our lockers, and then we will go into our advisory class and get our day started. 8:15, when announcements start, that is when our day begins. The first two periods of the day out of a 4-period day happen in the morning, and we have 80-minute block schedules for periods 1 and 2. 8th grade has their cultures class first thing in the morning, and then 7th grade reports to their cultures class second period. Midday, we all take a break and we go back to advisory. We start our midday lessons with Second Step, which is our social emotional learning curriculum. We started with Second Step last year. We really appreciate how they offer developmentally appropriate and engaging lessons for students and for teachers to be able to draw out of students just how we need to get along together. While they're in advisory, they will have lunch. We will clean up after ourselves, clean up our lunchroom. And then here's a special new feature to our day. We recognized that a lot of what students love about school was being canceled or postponed or just not able to happen because social distancing and e-learning and being apart made it impossible. So what we are doing is we are asking every adult in the building to host a club from 12 until 12:30. And those clubs will be selected by students by first, second, and third choice. Eighth graders will be assigned to their club first, then seventh grade, then sixth grade. And every day they're on campus, students will report for that half hour to that adult for their club time. And it's a time to just let our hair down. It is a time to learn something new, to work together on projects. We have a euchre club starting. We have a jewelry making club. We have dodgeball. We have a sports club. We have a rap music club with Mr. Geller. We have a large variety, and teachers are really being creative with the types of clubs that they are offering. So we're pretty excited about that, and that will be an end to the middle of our day. Then we resume and finish our afternoon with the last two periods of the day, with sixth grade going to their culture class, fourth period, and locker time at the very end of the day before we dismiss at 3:30. At 3:30, it's important to note that students must either go to the YMCA in the gym for aftercare or be dismissed immediately from the building, because at 3:30 the teachers have office hours in which they get online and they work through any issues that have happened that day with their e-learning students. They check in to see who's checked in with them. They check in to see who's been doing their assignments. They set up Google Meets to see students on that last 45 minutes of the day. So teachers are going to have that dedicated period where they are working with e-learning students after they have had face-to-face students that day. So here are some things we need you to understand about e-learning days virtually at home. Students must log in and respond to their advisory class question by 12 o'clock noon to be counted virtually present in PowerSchool. 12 o'clock noon feels like a reasonable time for students to be up and at it, checking in with their teachers, checking in with the assignments that have been posted, working through projects, working on makeup assignments, or catching up on assignments. Students must log in each day to their Google Classrooms of all their teachers to see lists of assignments and activities to complete. Remember, this will not be new to them. Teachers will be going over this information the day before when they've had them face-to-face in class. Sometimes teachers will have a video lesson to view. Sometimes they will work on activities related to the lesson the day before. Students have a total of 3 core classes each semester and 2 culture classes. That is the most they will have to attend to on their e-learning days. On Wednesday, when we are all e-learning, teachers will post special assignments and they might have assessments for students to take. They will also assign students to mandatory help meets, Google Meets, for those who need the support. And then teachers will also assign students for office hour appointments at the student's request, a parent's request, or a teacher could have a Google Meet with a student and a parent from the student's Chromebook at home. Students are encouraged to communicate with teachers through email if they have specific questions, especially on e-learning days. Remember, your teachers will have prep periods daily from 3:30 to 4:15 every time you have e-learning. Teachers will also help to explain those assignments in person before they send students home for their next day of e-learning. Students will all have their logins and passwords for all of the online sites that they need in their student agenda. Students also will have their Chromebooks, which will save their logins and passwords. We did have some students try to play shenanigans with parents last year, saying they didn't know their logins and password. I assure you parents that is not true, and it should always be in their agenda as a backup. So, and you're always free to you're always welcome to email teachers to get that information as well. Here is a little warning. We had some issues fourth quarter with students who were accessing other students' accounts. That is not allowed. It is considered cheating because we can have students completing assignments in the name of other students. If we see it happening, and we can sometimes see it happening by the IP address of the internet that students are using, there will be disciplinary action. Referrals will be assigned. We need students to please stay out of other students' accounts. If students have any technical difficulties on an e-learning day, they should immediately reach out to their advisory teacher and CC Mrs. Vinnicamp, Mr. Clark, or Mr. Geller, or all three of us. And I know you're thinking, but if I'm having technical difficulties, how can I do that? Well, hopefully you will be in the presence of someone who might have a cell phone that could send a message or email a teacher. Otherwise, you need to make sure when you come to class the next day, you immediately let your advisory teacher know that your Chromebook is having difficulties. We are asking you families to please, and Ravens, partner with us this year. We recognize that the e-learning days are an unusual new part of our days. Those cannot be used for opportunities for sleepovers and parties and get-togethers. We are asking you to socially distance from one another, especially on those Wednesdays. Those are the days we are just asking everyone to go to their homes and just stay with their family. We ask that you monitor your students' temperature daily. If you are in need of a thermometer, Nicole in our nurse's office can make sure you get one. We are asking that you keep your student home if they show signs of illness, fever, cough, sore throat, fatigue. We do ask, however, that if students stay home, that they log in and they check in with their teachers and they continue as best they can to work on assignments so that they can progress and show growth in all of our learning objectives. We ask families that you support our dress code expectations every day. We are pretty petty about dress code, and we have a reason for that. It keeps us all safe. And so we really will hound students about not being tucked and belted, about not being in the correct dress code. So please make sure you help us with that. We are going to provide for you a neon-paged car checklist to make sure that you have everything you need, especially in the habit of doing that these first few weeks. A fully charged Chromebook in its case, your backpack with supplies, your mask on your face as you enter the door, your water bottle washed every day at home and then refilled with water for you to drink throughout the day. All important things for you to remember as we make our way to a successful 2021 start. There is a new special document that you will find in your orientation packet, and we call this our Irvington Way Agreements. This has taken the place of that multi-page document we used to ask families, students, and teachers to sign, and it basically spells out how we all agree to be respectful, responsible, safe, involved, and focused so we can all work and learn together. And so we ask you to sign that and leave that with Mr. Walk. It will be directed to your child's advisory teacher who will keep that on file for the year. And we appreciate your support on that. So let me talk to you a minute about student packets. We are asking all families to attend a brief stop-in, pick up paperwork, drop off paperwork, collect a student orientation pack on Friday, that's tomorrow actually, July 17th, on Monday, July 20th, or Tuesday, July 21st. Now on Monday, we will be available, office hours will be 9 to 6, giving you a little bit of extended time in the afternoon. On Friday and Tuesday, office hours will be 9 to 3. This really is meant to be a pop-in and pop-out event. If you have not turned in your summer registration packet, we will have extra copies of that available for you to pick up. We will ask you to go out to your car to fill that out so we're not loitering in the front lobby. All must be masked to come into the building. We are going to also ask that you take a packet that has a lot of good resources and information, and let me show you what's in that packet. First, I want to tell you what documents you need to sign and deposit in Mr. Walk's box before you leave. It is critically important that every student has an authorized usage policy form signed by the student and the parent. That document spells out all of our rules for using our technology. The Irvington Way Agreement, we are asking you and a student to sign, parents, and then Mr. Walk will be able to tell you any registration paperwork that we do not have on file for you as of yet. We'll give you that to fill out in your car and bring back in the building. Documents you must read at home together, please, with your student. You're going to have a confirmation letter that identifies your student's cohort, 1 or 2, and your student's advisory teacher. We have an ICS calendar for 2021. You want to check that out. This is a non-traditional year for the calendar. We have an AUP reminder form. That's all about the care and feeding of your Chromebooks. Whoop. Sorry. And then we have a CDC guideline for mask wearing. We have a COVID-19 screening document for parents to use at home. And then we will have a first day, every day critical reminders. There's that neon page document of everything you should bring to school with you each day. There's a lot that we've covered, but here's a phrase I found that was widely used during the worldwide flu pandemic of 1918 and 1919. Safety saves sickness, suffering, and sadness. And while all of that is true, safety also allows us to continue to, as I've said, work and learn together, all of us. And so we ask you, Ravens, to approach this new 2021 school year with that in mind, to help us help you. We look forward to a good, strong start together, and we thank you for your time.